were talking to TJ earlier, and he was talking about how matchups work in y'all's offense. And he's like, if I had to tell you who wide receiver one was, I couldn't because everybody seems to get their chance. I'm curious from your perspective as a receiver, how many different places do you find yourself in, and how many different ways are they finding you to find a way to have the advantage against the defense?
I find myself in many different places. Coach Peets came in, he kind of moved me around. Like last year, I played mainly X, just X. And this year, I'm different. X, Z, backfield, I do it different now. And I like that he came in and changed the style.
Hey, Kayshon, this is Glenn West with LSU Country. I guess just kind of more along those lines, just, how different is this offense maybe from last year? Obviously, I think a lot has been put on just, getting five athletes out in space, but I'm just curious if you could expand on that a little bit more and just kind of, how you kind of adapted to Coach Peets' new scheme, and also just kind of how maybe DJ Mangus has kind of helped you guys in your development so far.
The offense kind of the offense kind of similar to last year offense. He just added a lot of new stuff. It's not a lot, but it's just something to get used to. And Coach Peets and DJ came in with a good plan. Coach Peets making the quarterbacks get together, work every day, different stuff, and Coach DJ helping the receivers get better at what we do. So a big shout out to them.
Yeah, he kind of touched on Coach Peets and Coach Mangus. I know you got here as a freshman. LSU had some new coaches, and you guys didn't have a spring. You kind of had to get into it from the fall. I guess just having this spring and working with those new coaches, do you find that it's, I don't know, maybe easier for you to pick up those new additions to the offense, or just kind of get more into a groove? Because I know obviously with COVID and whatnot, you guys had limited opportunities to do that, but having this spring and having these new coaches and just having a little bit more time, are you finding that it's easier for you to pick up the things?
Yeah, I find it easier because last year, like you said, we didn't really have an off season. We got straight into it. Coming out this season, knowing we have to work on and get better. This off season, we mainly focusing on that.
With all the moving parts, once you're on the field and a place happening, where you can be any place at once, how do you organize that and communicate that on the field to know where, to keep up with it all in a game?
It's really not a lot to keep up with. You just gotta know. You just gotta know your role. But if you don't, they got people around you that'll help you out. They're not just gonna let you sit right there and not know what's going on. Cause like Coach say, it take 11 to play a ball game. It's all about your one-on-one.
Do you kind of get a sense when you're, I don't know, in a scrimmage against your own defense and you get matched up with a guy and they're like, I thought you were supposed to be with it? Like, it's like, oh man, okay, now he's on me. Like, do you get a sense that they're, caught off guard a little bit by where you are?
Yeah, they get caught off guard a little bit, I'd say. They're just moving around. They're not used to it. They're used to seeing you at one spot. So when you kind of move around, it's like, oh, he over here now.
Hey, Kayshon, so also from what we've heard from so far is that they're splitting up the quarterback reps with Max and Miles and TJ and Garrett. I'm curious, just do you have little things with each one, like with each quarterback that or is it like just kind of a situation where you're still adapting to maybe all their kind of throw styles and just kind of where you want it and where they kind of want to put the ball? I mean, just what's your relationship on the field like with those 3, 4 guys?
Yeah, we kind of getting used to how they throw the ball. Cause like you say, at practice, you're not going with just one quarterback. You're going with different quarterbacks all full throughout the whole practice. So some balls might be weird, some might not be. But after practice, it's something to work on and get the timing right.
In your last game, we saw just how multiple, your talents are. What are the things that you think you do best? I mean, you say you played a lot of X last year. You'll be used a lot differently now. What's like the thing that you get to do? You're like, all right, this is what I feel like I can do with this offense.
feel like I could set big numbers in this offense. Last year, I think the things that I did best was speed, got out of my breaks. And this offseason, I'm focusing on being more physical and better in my route running, blocking for sure, and just everything to be the best athlete I can.
Anything else for Kayshon? Okay, appreciate Glenn, you got something?
All right, yeah, just maybe one more. I mean, obviously, you're going to be a huge part of this offense, moving forward here, but I'm curious as to maybe some of the younger guys or maybe even some of the veterans that have been around for a year or two that you maybe noticed have really kind of taken that next step in their development, whether it be, Trey Palmer or Jerry Jenkins or just some of the guys that, you kind of noticed early at the receiver group that have kind of made that next jump in their game.
In a receiver room, like we hold each other to a standard. We make sure each other good. Everybody catch the ball. We hold each other accountable. Cause in order to be on the field in a big time, you gotta be accountable. And it's just a lot going on in the environment. You can't focus on what's going on outside. You gotta focus on the task at hand. So I think that's something that everybody doing a good job of right now.
And yeah, you were asked about the quarterbacks a little earlier. Not necessarily on the field, but have you noticed them kind of maybe stepping it up competition-wise in the weight room, in the meeting rooms, anything like that?
I don't really work out with none of the quarterbacks. I'm with the 830 group, so I don't really know much about it.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, thanks Kayshon, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.